Good morning. We're live. Oh, microphone. Good morning. We're live. Let me get my mic on. You know that I believe the next Black migration, the Great Black Migration, is underway. And I believe that Black American people should absolutely be looking for our new home, right? A place that we're moving to, that we're living in with our families. Um, And, but also, I think that this is a time to talk about how to not get took, okay? How to make sure that your move abroad planning is fruitful and not takey, scammy, spammy, okay? So, we're gonna talk about three pieces of advice that you can ignore. More specifically, we're gonna talk about three sources of advice that I think you should ignore. Hi, my name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter, creator of House Sitter School, and co creator of Exodus Summit. I live in Bogota, Colombia. And on this channel, we talk about moving abroad, career breaks, sabbaticals, and bopping around the world for Black women. If you're at all interested, and if you click the button you're interested, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's free. Okay, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then you'll also want to turn on notifications. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified when I post another video or when I go live with my friends. Welcome and hello, friends. Hi, good morning, Sherry. I found a rogue bobby pin in the back of my head. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, L. Nope, IJH. Good morning, Danica. Good morning, Day with Candace. Hey, good morning, S. Geyer. Good morning, Tina Bala. Tina Blala, Tina B. Lala. Good morning, Nana Garvey and Marley Hall. Good morning, Dina the Explorer and Pure Pandemonium. How's everyone today? Make sure that you say good morning, okay? If you're here, say good morning. I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna change out my lipstick. I don't know if I prefer that. And I'm going to finish my hair. Like, give me 1 second to finish my hair. So let's talk about, and then while you're saying good morning, I'm going to do these things while you're saying good morning in the chat. I left the, and then I'll tell you about me if you're new here. I left the United States in 2015, and I haven't lived in the United States since then. I haven't had a home or a residence or a place to stay of my own since then. When I go back to the US, I do stay with my parents in exotic Dover, Delaware, but I haven't lived in the United States since then. I bopped around the world for almost 10 years, from Southeast Asia and Australia, a little bit of Europe, to Latin America for the since this YouTube channel has been up and running. So since 2019, most of my time has been spent in Latin America, which is Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia for me. I've visited a few other places, but I've spent at least a year in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Colombia. All right. And I live better. Why? Why do I do those things instead of just having a job and being a person who lives in the United States, in the very country I was born in? Life is better. As a Black woman, I live better in other places than I do in the United States of America. And you and your family probably will too. We're talking about a few different things, right? We're talking about living better, as in the pace of living is better, the cost of living is better, the people, the neighbors that I'm living around are better, the food is better, the weather is better, right? When I say live better, there's a lot that goes into that. But the things that you probably are complaining about or fearful of in the United States, you might likely can find a place in the world where you don't have that real problem. Like inflation is everywhere. Everywhere's having inflation. In money, prices go up. But the inflation that you're struggling with in the United States is probably not as, or is probably more impactful for you with your money than it would be if you were in another country, right? Safety. I don't like what I did to my hair. Safety as an issue in the United States is probably something you have to think about on a regular basis. And safety in other places is no more, is not as much of a concern beyond like, how do I not get my cell phone snatched when I walk down the street, right? We're not talking about armed guards, armed militia, police, and federal agents being a threat to you, or your neighbors calling the police or federal agents being a threat to you. We're talking about put your phone away when you walk down the street. Okay, I feel more situated than I did. Good morning, everyone. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let me tell you, I made a quick list of 3 of advice sources to ignore. Let's say this. Let's just go back to 3 pieces of advice to ignore. Okay, number 1, ignore the advice from somebody who is an expert 5 minutes after she landed in a place. 2, ignore advice from a bot. Okay, if it's not a human person, ignore their advice. 3, ignore pricing advice from someone whose rent was set pre-pandemic. Speaking of inflation. I'm gonna add a 4th one because you know how I do. Numbers don't mean a whole lot. If you see a number on a thumbnail, know that we're gonna have probably that number, but also probably many more. Number 4th piece, scummy capitalist colonizer advice. Okay, and let's walk through each one of these. So y'all say good morning. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Okay, we know how we do. You don't just you don't just lurk. We say good morning. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Go ahead and hit the like button while you're here so that you don't forget to do it later. Okay, and then we'll run through these things. The final, okay, listen, I know I look fidgety because I feel a little fidgety, but I need to do, I'm vain, and looking at yourself for 2 hours straight is not normal. And it requires some prep work. Okay? It requires some prep work. Try it. Looking at yourself for 2 hours requires you to like what you see so that you can move on. Now I'm ready to move on. Okay? Thank you. Hello, Black Diamond. Thank you. Okay, so first I said advice from someone who is an expert 5 minutes after she lands. There are people who are helping. There are sisters in this Move Abroad movement. Okay, as I've said, I believe that there's an exodus of Black people leaving the United States. And there are people inside of this movement who are helping, who are not just like, oh, I did it. You can figure it out, right? I figured it out. You figure it out. Good luck to you and your family, right? I hope y'all make it. There are people who are like, here's exactly what I did. Here's exactly what I wish I had done. Here's how I planned this thing. Here's mistakes I made. Here are people who I used to help me or resources that helped me. Okay, I'm down with that. I love that. What you don't want is someone who is an expert on that particular city in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, right? It takes time to know a specific place. I don't talk about Bogota all that much because I don't know much about Bogota. I got here January of 2025. It's now March of 2026, but I spent months. I only spent 7, I think I'm on my 7th month or 8th month here because I spent some time in some other places, bopping around. I don't tell you a whole lot. When I talk about Bogota, you know what I talk about? I talk about the weather because the temperature is very constant. Bogota's high is often 60, 67, 66 degrees every day of the year. I talk about the weather. I talk about the food. I do feel like I'm an expert at Bogota food, right? I don't talk too much about Bogota in itself, except that I say, I need some friends and I hope you move here, please, okay? But you beware the person who is an expert in the place that she moved to immediately, and beware of the person who is an expert in every place she's ever visited. Okay, I will tell you what my opinions on a place, but I'll also tell you I spent 1 winter here, right? I spent 1 winter in Curacao, right? Now I'm gonna tell you my opinions on Curacao. That's what YouTube is for, and that's what the internet does best. but beware the expert, the move abroad expert in a city who just got there. Because all she's going to do is connect you with other people who, and then probably not pay them very well. You know what I mean? If someone moved to Barcelona 3 weeks ago and she's selling a course on moving to Barcelona and getting residency in Spain and whatever, beware, okay? I like Black women and I trust Black women. And I know that for the most part, if a Black woman is positioning herself as, I can help you with this thing, she is qualified. She's probably overqualified. For the most part, a Black woman is overqualified for the thing that she's doing, for the thing that she's putting out in the world. I see that over and over and over and over again, okay? That sometimes makes us put our guards down as Black women and just automatically trust someone who's out doing a thing, okay? So these are my words, okay? What is an amount of time someone should live in a place before she helps people move to that place? I don't know. That's up to you, okay? But if she's in Barcelona this month and selling courses on Barcelona, and then next month she's in Prague and she's selling courses on moving to Prague, just beware, okay? And use your best judgment. I don't think you can become an adult Black woman without having good discernment. Use your discernment. Sometimes we set our discernment aside. Yeah, so that's what you see. A lot of people will bring the people because they're good at marketing, which I also am good at marketing. That's not a knock on people who are good at marketing. If because they're good at marketing, they can bring in customers, but they can't really provide the product. So somebody else provides the product, and that somebody else is probably not being paid fairly. Okay. All right. Okay, so that was number one. Beware someone who is an expert on that place 5 minutes after she lands. Now, that does not mean that we don't follow along with people who are in progress, who are works in progress. A lot of people in the move abroad space, a lot of my own sisters in this movement didn't really start talking about their move abroad or about leaving the US until after they did it. And so from us, you're not getting a lot of process stuff in the beginning. Like, what was the beginning process? What did it look like and feel like to get rid of all of your things, right? What did it look like and feel like to say goodbye to your family and your friends? How did you plan for their visits in your new place, right? We're past that. A lot of people were talking about moving abroad and the Great Black Migration. A lot of us are past that point. And so you can't see the daily progress. So it's wonderful to have you, Black women, on YouTube sharing your daily progress. Those of you who are planning your move abroad, share it, right? Share what you're doing. Share what it feels like. Share what it looks like. Because other people then show up thinking that it was so easy for us and there was no fear and there were no obstacles because we didn't start talking about it until after it was done. Okay? Am I being clear on this? So no, you're not an expert on Bogota because you've been in Bogota for 5 minutes, okay? You're absolutely not. But you are an expert on what you did, how you got you and your family there, how you navigated leaving a place. You are an expert, and that should be shared. Share that stuff, right? People are always surprised when I do mention how fearful, how afraid I was when I left the country in 2015. And I was only leaving for a year as far as I knew. When I left September of 2015, I thought I was leaving for 1 year, even though I pretty much got rid of everything and acted like I was leaving permanently because I didn't want to come back to the same life. So I just I ditched my life. But my plan was a year, and it was still very, very scary, right? I'm landing first I landed in Tokyo for 24 hours. And then I went to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, right? And I watched YouTube videos on like the airport. I've been to many an airport, okay? And I've been to international airports. I've been to airports around the world, but I was really nervous about landing in an airport when I didn't know any of the language and didn't know how does this work. Spoiler alert, Kuala Lumpur Airport is like every airport you've ever been to, every large airport you've ever been to. But that fear was real, and I didn't document it because I didn't have a YouTube channel then, and wasn't blogging or any of that stuff then. And so that might make people think that there wasn't any fear. And then when they feel fear, they think they're doing something wrong. When people do feel fear, they think that they're, doing it wrong, or that that's a stop sign and they shouldn't be planning their move abroad at all, instead of just knowing this is a normal thing and you should have planned for it. We should have prepared you for the fear. Okay? Yeah. You have to have a plan for your stuff. Key Beauty, my mom is trying to give me China for a future house that I don't want. My mom and I talked about her China. At first I was like, no, but I think I might go back. Next time I go, we might talk about it again. She's here. Good morning, Mom. Hi, Connie Perry. She's here. I saw her in the early chat before I got started. I was a little late today. Thank you for your patience with me. I don't see her now. I don't see it now. There she is. Yeah. She was like, I know you don't want it. I'll see if one of her nieces wants it. But yeah, but now that I have a house, and I think I found a beautiful, what happened was on Facebook Marketplace, I found a beautiful China closet, China cabinet, China cabinet. So I may I may find a way to get the China down here. We'll see. Yeah. Watching people's progress, their thought processes on here's what I'm taking and here's what I'm not taking is extremely helpful, right? Watching people say, here's how I'm planning for my future while they're doing it in the middle of it before they get there is extremely helpful, right? Yeah, it's hard. It is hard to find. So, but also I went to a meetup in Fort Lauderdale. Was it Fort Lauderdale, y'all? Did we have a Fort Lauderdale meetup or another? Yeah, it was Fort Lauderdale. And one of the women in the meetup took us to a thrift store. I know, I got it. Took us to a thrift store. And I was like, if I had room in my suitcase and weight, I would take this China right here. So it's out there. It's out there. I just, here in Bogota, I can't find the thrift stores. I can't find them. I can't find the stuff, the home goods thrift stores, the housewares thrift stores. I can't find them, right? I bought had some furniture made here, and that was, I think I'm done with all the stuff I want made. I got my bed made, this desk, dining room table, mostly because I wanted a specific color of chair. I wanted a specific green cushion on the chair, the chair bottom. And I got my TV set made because I wanted it to fill the wall. I wanted my TV stand to cover the wall. And so it needed to be pretty big. Everything else, I would like to get secondhand, my bed and the guest bed, one guest bed. But everything else, the other two guest beds, the other stuff, I would like to get it secondhand. Console table, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time finding the stuff. I even walked into a thrift store, a store that had some furniture out front, and that looks like a thrift store. And when you get in there, they're like, here's what we can make. They only had a little bit of stuff out front to entice me in. When you get in there, everything is, here's what we can make. I was like, I want a mirror, either round or oval, for above my fireplace. And they're like, oh, we can make, I'm like, no, I'm looking for something that already exists. Are storage units worth the investment? Absolutely not. Almost never. If you put your things in storage, and we're talking like a significant amount of, or anything, if you put something in storage, you should calculate what 5 years of storage is going to cost and see, is it worth that? Is this stuff worth that price? Who here has paid for storage? Tell us how many months you paid for your storage. Girl, it's going to be 3, 5, 7 years. I don't care what you think your plan is. Once you put your things in a paid storage unit, it's going to be more than 3 years, even if you think it's going to be 1 year. Even if you're like, I'm going to go for 1 year and come back. That's not how it's going to be. Okay. Anybody willing to share here? It's gonna, yeah, and the price, hey Rashni, and the prices will go up, right? So you can calculate what it would cost today to do it for 3 years, but it's going to, prices go up. That's what prices do. Prices go up, and it never works the way you think it's going to work. I'm the only person I know. I did put things in storage for 1 month when I got out of the Army in 2005. But it was because I had arranged to get a trailer hitch and a little tiny trailer hooked onto my car to drive my car from Texas to Delaware. And then when I got there, they're like, "Oh no, we don't have a hitch for your model of vehicle." And so I just put some stuff in a storage unit, but it was 1 month or maybe 2 months. I didn't have any money, so I wasn't gonna leave that stuff. It was 1 month or 2 months. I took as much as I could in one trip, and then I came back, right? I'm the only person I know who has ever done that, okay? As Geyer says, since 2009, she's had things in storage for $63 a month. Friend, can somebody help you get rid of that? Because like, I don't even want to calculate. I can't even calculate how long ago 2009 was, okay? 17 years, going on 17 years. I had an aunt who very similar, right? She was going to move from New York to Delaware. She had things in storage for probably 20 years. Like, not kidding, probably 20 years. J. Jones, I know who this is. I was going to say her government name. I paid for storage for several years. Costs increased every 4 months. They couldn't even set it for a year. Oh, Adelia says, look for actual markets instead of a store. Okay. Okay. I'm thinking about the markets that I see and that I've been to. I just haven't seen it. And there's money here, right? There's rich people in Bogota. When there's rich people, there's stuff. I just can't find it. This is why you need friends in a place. You need local friends. This is why you need local friends. Yeah, so Suzanne, this is very normal. You put your things in storage. By the time you go to get them out of storage, number one, you don't remember what's in there. You just don't remember. I don't remember what's in my closet from day to day. You know you're not going to remember what's in storage in 6 months or 6 years. But also, you're not going to want that stuff. That's from an old life. And it's just not going to work for you anymore. And it's going to be old stuff, right? Can you imagine storing a television for 4 years? Who needs that? TVs don't look like that anymore. A 4-year-old TV is not what TVs look like today, right? So, okay, another common problem, Valerina, it was years and so much was destroyed by rodents and silverfish. Okay, we had coaching in the Exodus ASAP membership the other day, and Rashida was explaining to one of the women in the coaching, if she's going to put some things in her attic because she's keeping her home and renters are staying in her home. So she's putting some things in her attic. And Rashida's like, here's how you make sure your stuff doesn't get destroyed, right? You're going to have to pack this very intentionally, even though it's your home, right? Even though you're not packing it in some storage unit, you're going to have to be very intentional. Kay Ballard, years, at least 10 years, at least a decade. It's very common. This is not me shaming anybody for putting things in storage. This is us as a collective of Black women telling you, Black woman, storage is not what you think it's going to be, okay? It's not the simple solution you think it is. It's years and money, and still you're going to have to go back and make a plan for every single item you stored. So let's do it in the first place. Let's do it in the first place. Oh, Black Diamond says it's only been 5 months and still she regrets it deeply. Let's make a plan, get some people on your team. It's cheaper to pay somebody to help you deal with your stuff now than it is to store it for a decade. Okay, get some people on your team. There are people who specialize in these things. Or get some college students who could use some dough. And get some people to help you make a plan. When you move abroad, you have to make a plan for every single item you own. Every item you own. And that's much. That's much stuff, okay? Get somebody to help you. You don't have to do it on your own. It's decluttering month inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. We have two themes this month: decluttering and caravans, DIY residency caravans, where women are teaming together to go someplace and get their residency. Get some people on your team, but make a plan for that now, okay? So anyone who heard me say, if you just moved someplace 5 minutes ago and now you're the expert on that place, people shouldn't really trust you yet, okay? I stand by that. And know that there are things that you can provide for people. There are things that people will trust you with, including watching you go through the process of storing your stuff or of decluttering, of figuring out a plan for all of your stuff. People will watch you go through that process and learn from you. It's valid. Okay? Okay. It's been a while since I've been so dry feeling. You know, menopause had perimenopause and menopause had me very dried out. I feel like I'm kind of coming out on the other side of that, but not today. Okay? Okay. What about my books though? Everything needs a plan. If it's not coming with you, everything needs a plan. Whether you're selling it, giving it away, throwing it away, burning it, keeping it, every single item you have needs a plan. Whether it's a thing that you love and care about or a thing that you don't care about. Whether it's an heirloom or a tchotchke that you bought at the flea market. Everything needs a plan. Okay? I think the best platform varies thing to thing. I see it. Hold on. I can't get it on the screen. Shayla T's asking, what's the best platform for selling things? Everything has a different platform. Usually for furniture, for selling furniture, I think we're still on Facebook Marketplace. I think a lot of people still like to buy things on Facebook Marketplace. Here in Bogota, even furniture stores advertise on Facebook Marketplace. I bought my washer dryer and my current sofa and some other stuff there. Clothes, probably still. Where did I sell them clothes? Sell used clothes. Poshmark. I sold stuff on Poshmark, ThreadUp are places that I've heard women in this community talk about selling things. Yard sales. It depends on what the thing is. Michelle says, open a storage unit, like a storage. Are you talking about a business where you empty storage units or a business where you have storage units? E. Caldwell had Orletta Caldwell had an estate sale. We're seeing that more and more inside of our community too. Somebody else do it, right? I'll give you whatever it is, 30%, 20%, whatever it is, come and do it for me, right? I have a home full of stuff. And sometimes you have your stuff, you have your mom's stuff, right? You have generations of stuff. Estate sales becoming more and more popular. Okay. Coffee Brown, she had 2 storage spaces, closed one and sold everything. How did you sell everything? Did you sell it in, like on Facebook Marketplace? Did you sell it some other way? How did you do that? Missy says eBay's good, but fees add up. So make sure you're pricing things so that those fees don't eat up all of your money. Okay. Okay. Oh, own the storage business. Yeah. Okay. I think there's probably also some something to be said for a business where you go clean out people's storage units, but then you got to figure out what to do with all that stuff. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't. All right. Sold everything on the neighborhood. So Coffee Brown says Coffee Brown, who emptied out one of her units and sold everything, sold it on her neighborhood Facebook page. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. All right. So good. Okay. So showing your work in progress is a valid thing. Do that. Okay. Just because I said beware of the woman who is an expert in Barcelona this month and Prague next month, right, doesn't mean that you, person who is in the process of moving or person who has recently moved abroad, does not mean that you don't have something to offer people. Okay. The next thing to avoid is move abroad advice from a bot, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever other bots we're using. Right. I would like to talk extensively on this topic, but I've talked extensively on this topic before. So here's what I'll say. There's 3 reasons. I'm gonna write them down because I'll forget them while I'm talking. 3 reasons to avoid move abroad advice from a bot. Okay. Number 1, bots like ChatGPT and Claude, they get information from the internet, from actual humans who have put that information on the internet. Humans like me, right? Like other women in this community. They take that information, steal it, and then don't credit us with that information. So number 1, information that you're getting from a bot like that is stolen from an actual human person without credit. And I don't like that. Credit me? How about you don't use my information at all, right? I have a lot of videos on YouTube, which means Google has a lot of my info. And when you go to Claude or ChatGPT and it spits out an answer, Claude or ChatGPT is not capable of answering the question. It's not capable of it. Claude does not know the requirements for residency in Mexico. Claude knows how to find an actual human's answer and then try to, or plural, humans' answers, and then try to distill those answers into one answer. Okay, so number 1 is stolen. And number 2, it doesn't know how to test for, does this actually make sense? Is this current? Is this accurate? So it's stolen information, it's inaccurate information. Let's see. What is the most egregious example I've heard someone? Oh, ask a bot to count to 10 or count to 100. It won't count. Let's see. Hey, Siri, count to 100. She set a timer for 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 56 seconds. It's dumb, okay? It's dumb. Your bot can't count from 0 to 100. It's not able to do, there are things that require a brain and human experience, and your bot has 0 life experience. A 3-year-old has more life experience than ChatGPT. If you wouldn't ask a 3-year-old, how do I move to Mauritius? Hi. Then probably, friend, you shouldn't be asking Claude or ChatGPT, how do I move to Mauritius? It can't decipher. It can't. So I said, Black women, you're an adult, you have good discernment. ChatGPT, 0 discernment. Claude, 0 discernment. Okay. And number 3 reason we shouldn't be using a bot to plan our move abroad is the environmental impact. These are in no particular order. They're just in the order I thought of them. Okay. The environmental impacts. We've talked enough, you've heard enough people say that these data centers are using actual human people's resources. I saw this week or a couple of weeks ago that 25% of the data centers that are doing like these energy draining activities are in Virginia. 25% of the world's data centers that are doing these high energy using activities, using up water, using up electricity, using up whatever, 25% of them are in Virginia. 25% of the worst are in Virginia, right? These have a real environmental impact. Why am I so linty? I'll also say this. If you hear people begging and pleading you to have be a better neighbor, if you hear people begging and pleading for you to not use ChatGPT and Claude and whatever, use them a whole lot less, and you say, but I need to, you're not going to make it in your move abroad when you go places where they expect you to participate in the collective. In the United States, you can be an individual and you can be an individualist. But when you go to these other countries, you go to Mexico, you go to Portugal, you go to Barbados, they expect you to do for the collective. They expect you to prioritize and prioritize the collective's needs. They are more community minded than you're used to. And when you go to those if you can't not use ChatGPT, when you could just use Google, right? It's less of an energy drain. You could just use Google or Bing, or there's some better, Black women, please, there are some even better environmentally friendly search engines. When you could just use a search engine, but you go to ChatGPT because you want to, because you've developed a relationship with this bot. You've proven that you're not going to be a collective thinker when you go to these other places. It's not going to work. Stay home. Stay home. Okay? So the second piece of advice or source of advice to avoid for your move abroad planning for this next Black migration is advice from a bot. It's stolen advice, and it's inaccurate, and it's harming actual people. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I don't even have friends here yet in Bogota, right? I talked to my landlord and her daughters. I talked to the security guards. I talked to the same avocado man once a week, right? And still, there are things that I do for the collective. Bogota once had a very severe pedestrian pedestrian death rate. I don't know what it's called, right? There was a lot of pedestrian deaths in Bogota. So they did some bike lane things, and they put up a lot of those crosswalks and the signs and the man and the whatever. So here in Bogota, they don't jaywalk when there are children around. I've heard of this in Germany too. They don't really, you see people jaywalk unless there's people there that they want to set a good example for. Then you wait on that light. I often don't jaywalk. Once I read that Bogota had such a high death rate for pedestrians, I'm like, okay, I am convinced. I will wait on this corner for the light to change. But even now, when, sometimes you're like, I cross the street all the time, I can do it. I can plainly see there's no one coming, right? When there are children here, they don't jaywalk. They wait. People who would be darting across that street. They think of the collective and the community. What Bogota do we want? Right? What Playa del Carmen do we want? What Coimbra do we want? What Chiang Mai do we want? And they all contribute to that. In the United States, you're allowed to say, I want this version of the United States, but I don't want to put in the effort to get it. And so I'm going to do what I want. You're allowed to do that in the United States. It's collectivist, it's individualist, it's whatever. Collectivist as in action, not in collectivist. I mean, it's individualist in action. United States is not really individualist, right? United States was built on the foundation of slavery. It required people, the wealth, the power that the United States accrued. They will tell you it was an individualist, a result of rugged individualism, when really it was a result of slavery, the enslavement of people, right? But you're allowed in the United States to say, even though I would really like this thing. I would really like clean water. I would really like my neighbors to have access to clean water, and I would like to have access to clean water, but I'm still going to use these search, and I'm still going to use these AI tools because it's just easier for me. People are like, oh, okay. That's how it works in the United States. That's not how it works in other places. And you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. If you can't stop using ChatGPT, you're not going to make it. Right? Pretty simple. Right? Yeah, we pay the price for it. In the United States, the price looks like you look around and your neighbors are terrible people and it's a terrible country. In this place, you'll pay the price as in people will tell you you're doing the wrong thing. And then you're going to be held up as a negative example to other people. I don't want you coming here and messing up the good thing I got going in Bogota. Because when people talk to me in Bogota and they realize that I'm a foreigner and I don't speak good Spanish, they are patient with me and they're welcoming to me. And you're not going to come here and ruin that, right? By being an individual, not thinking of the collective. And now they don't like any foreigners. No. Okay. If you can't sacrifice, if that's not a sacrifice you can make, if you didn't jump in on the Target boycott, right? You're not going to make it. If you knew that Black people were boycotting Target, even if you didn't fully understand why, I understand why. Target was like, we're here for Black people. Target collected the Black people dollars, and then one little piece of pressure from the federal government, and Target was like, not even real pressure. Target was like, oh, F DEI. Okay, we don't really care about DEI. And Black people were like, we'll show you. Okay, we'll show you. If you didn't jump in on it, you're not going to make it. Don't move. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Every time I get on Threads, people are like, but such and such is in Target. Well, first of all, how do you know what's in Target? For you to even have ambivalent feelings about a Target boycott, right? You should close the app. Don't go in the store. How do you even know what's in there to have these ambivalent feelings about whether you're going to buy this thing in Target? You shouldn't even know what's in there. If you couldn't join in with us on that, don't move. Stay where you are. You're in the only place in the world where that kind of mentality is going to work for you. Right? What are you doing? What is you doing? Right? And continues and does. Okay. If you can't, seriously, there is a thing where Americanness can change you. It's why Mexicans are different from Mexican Americans, right? It's why Irish people are different from Irish Americans. Americanness can change you. And if you don't have the ability to fight that, when you go to other places, it's going to be terrible. You're going to mess that place up. I made a video not too long ago about how Black people are moving like white supremacists, right? And so know that you're not going to be everyone. Junquette says, not just DEI, also mobility challenge, senior citizens, neurodivergent people. know that it's not going to work for you in other places. You live in the place in the world where that attitude works for you, and it's not going to work in other places. And you're going to mess it up for us who are more collective and community minded, who are willing to sacrifice something, a little something. Not going to Target is a pretty small sacrifice. There's Costco, and I always forget which one I like, CVS or Walgreens. Who owns Walgreens? Right? All that hair stuff. Walgreens is owned by Sycamore. Who owns CVS? I think Walgreens is the one I like, but then it sold to the private equity. What's the other drugstore? There's one more drugstore. Anyway, there's other choices out there. That same hair stuff you get from Target, you can get it from a drugstore. You can order it from the hair maker, from the hair stuff maker, right? An unwillingness to sacrifice even a small thing for other people is very telling. And it means your move abroad is not going to be well received. You might make it, you might get out and get to another place, but once you get there, then people are not going to like you. And then people are going to be more vocal than you're used to. They're safer. Your physical safety is higher abroad, but people will tell you what they think of you to your face and with spray paint on your building when they feel like it. One thing Latin Americans know how to do is protest. And they can protest an individual just like they can protest a government policy. Okay? Without Amazon, right? Just go to the hair product maker. I use Kemet Bio. I don't feel like I'm a good advertisement for them today. I've been washing my hair for about 4 days now. Every day I'm like, let me wash my hair today. Let me wash my hair today. I've been in the process of thinking about possibly starting to wash my hair for several days, but I love Kemet Biologic stuff. And I used to buy that on Amazon or in Target. And now I just order it from her. And when I get to Delaware, it's there and I bring it back with me, right? The Black Girl Vitamins, same. Connie Perry got on a subscription with the Black Girl Vitamins, so she don't even have to go to the website anymore to get her stuff. There's other choices. Nobody has to go. Well, maybe there might be something, but nobody has to do the amount of shopping in Target that they were doing before. And so Amazon is a real pest. Pest is not right. Well, yeah, pests. We use pest as in it's just like a little disturbance, but pests cause major damage. And Amazon and Jeff Bezos are causing major damage to the United States. And we shouldn't be shopping at Amazon. And if you can't sacrifice that, you're not going to make it in another country where they expect you to make some sacrifices for them. The other day, my building has a water tank and a reserve water tank or something like that. So they sent me a WhatsApp message and said, we're cleaning out the secondary water tank or something. I don't know, my Spanish is passable. So please don't use a lot of water. But they didn't say what a lot was. So the day before, I filled up my water pitchers. I have one here. Filled up my water pitchers. I did two things to make sure, and my tea kettle, my house guest brought me a tea kettle, right? Just so that small thing. And then I didn't flush the toilets, right? I have 4 toilets. So I didn't flush the toilets. Use this toilet, then this toilet, right? And then didn't flush them for that day because they said don't use a lot of water. And I'm like, well, let's see if I can use no water, right? Let's see how no water I can go for this day. If you're not able to make adjustments, even if the adjustment isn't to benefit you, but to benefit other people, you're not going to make it abroad. That includes using AI to make pictures of your whatever y'all be doing on AI, okay? Or AI to make your move abroad plan. There are people out here talking. AI is using my stolen stuff. Stop it. Okay. All right. The third thing to avoid a third piece of move abroad advice to avoid is pricing from someone whose rent was determined pre-pandemic. This is very specific. Rent prices went up, okay? Rent prices went up around the world. If someone is reporting her rent price and she's been in that place since 2019 or earlier, and that price is probably not accurate for a new person. You're not going to get there and be paying that amount of rent. Okay? Very specific. Rent prices have gone up. Somebody who signed her lease in 2019 and is just maybe getting a small increase, that's not accurate. Right? That's not what you're going to get today. It's accurate for her. It's accurate for her. But it's not what you're going to pay, okay? It's not what you're going to pay. Prices go up until they go down. Prices do also go down, but normally we need a major catastrophic event for prices to go down. So maybe prices will start going. We are in a world war, so maybe we will see prices go down. But right now, prices are going up. Rent prices are going up. Somebody's 2018, they've been in their place since 2018. They've just been renewing their lease, or they bought their home in 2018. That price is not a price you should expect to pay for something comparable. It's not a comp, okay? No comps. Okay? Yeah. So that's why I had to look them up. There is a drugstore, Target, Walgreens. There is a drugstore that was family owned and that was doing a better job. Family owned US drugstore. I think it was Walgreens and they sold out. I think it was Walgreens and they just sold to a private equity firm. I used to really like Walgreens because they were family owned and they were less scummy. It's harder and harder, okay? Things are getting harder and harder. But there was, they sold out to a private equity firm. Thrifty is now Rite Aid. Yeah. And then let's see who owns Rite Aid. Did I look that one up? Who owns Rite Aid? Enter. April 2013, CVS completes acquisition of Rite Aid. Okay. CVS bought Rite Aid. So Rite Aid was a place that had So, I know what happened. Private equity bought Walgreens and then decided to stop paying its employees holiday pay, right? Like, come on. Come on. Walgreens went from being a family-owned drugstore chain that I felt okay shopping at to a private equity drugstore chain that doesn't even pay its employees holiday pay anymore. Change comes at you fast. We still have Costco on our side. We still can trust Costco. Is it Ulta? There's a list of stores with better policies than others. It's a shrinking list, okay? It's shrinking, but there is a list. Okay. All right. Did we do number 3? Pricing pre-pandemic? There's not a whole lot to say about that, but it's a very specific piece of advice to avoid, but it's helpful. It's a piece of advice that's going to save you some money. Okay. And then I added on a 4th, which is avoid scummy capitalist colonizer advice. If it sounds icky, avoid it. Even if it sounds okay, until you think about it. Avoid that advice, right? We talk about Airbnb on this platform as a way for you to go to a new country and stay in a place in there in a residential neighborhood instead of in a tourist center, right? How to stay in a residential neighborhood and see what your life could be like. But we're aware that Airbnb has ruined cities' housing markets. Airbnb's users and Airbnb, they're not, right? And so we look for Airbnbs that are locally owned, right? And we don't buy up or rent up a bunch of real property to put on the Airbnb platform. If the advice that you're hearing about moving abroad is moving to Johannesburg and buying up six or buying or renting six properties and then putting them on Airbnb where you can get 200% return on your investment, that's scummy capitalist advice, especially after you know how Airbnb has ruined housing markets around the world. Airbnb and its users, Airbnb and its hosts have ruined housing markets. So avoid scummy capitalist colonizer advice. Okay? There's a difference between my Airbnb in the beginning was Airbnb that I could be proud of. My Airbnb, me staying in Airbnbs, especially in the beginning, was me staying in people's homes with them, right? They have a bedroom on Airbnb, which is what it started out as. And then one day I looked up and I noticed that I'm booking with people. These people, this is a corporation that has properties on Airbnb, right? Maybe Saunders Stay or somebody. And I'm like, wait, this is not what this is supposed to be. And this is not how I want to bop around the world, by staying in these corporate owned places. Troll alert. So we have to let me know if you see it again. If you do, just hit the three dots by their name and you can block them yourself from your own viewing until I can see it. Yes. Greed. Does this sound greedy? Is a pretty good test, right? Does this sound greedy? Do this make me look greedy? Yes, then I'm not going to do it, right? So for me, I haven't stayed in an Airbnb for over a year, but it means I'm staying in Marriott. I don't know, right? I can't say one is better than the other. I feel good about it. I have, thanks, Tori. Thank you. I have ambassador status this year with Marriott because I stopped staying in Airbnbs last year. I had over 100 and something nights in a Marriott. I can't recommend that. I don't recommend that. An Airbnb is almost always going to be a better financially responsible choice, right? But what we can do is this Airbnb owned by a local person? Sometimes you can't tell because now they have the host is different from the owner, right? But you can try to figure it out. Does it look like a corporation? When you get the welcome email, is it from a corporate? Like, that's what I started seeing. The welcome email would be like from some corporation that was like, send us your driver's license and send us this and send us that. I'm like, this is not a person. Maybe that's the thing I should have started putting in reviews. I didn't think about that until just this second. But how do we not operate in a scummy capitalist way? Airbnb on its own doesn't have to be scummy capitalist. It can be a way for you to stay with local people, put money in their actual pockets, staying in their actual homes. So how do we do that instead of going to places where the money is just going to be funneled back to the US or wherever this corporation is headquartered? Okay. See you, Amina. All right, that's all I got. What else? What else? What are your questions? I started something earlier. Can you please, oh, Texas Meetup. If you want to come to an Exodus Summit meetup, join our Exodus Summit community at exodussummit.com/community. It's for Black women. We've left Facebook, so if there is a one-time fee, one time, not once a month or once a year, but one-time fee. That fee is $1, okay? $1 to join the Exodus Summit community, and there in the events section, you'll see the meetups. There are meetups happening. There's a meetup happening here in Bogota in April something teen. During the Art Bow, Bogota has an art weekend. If you want to fly on down to Bogota, I know airfare is going to be unpredictable. Has anybody looked at airfare, and have you seen gas prices impacting airfare yet? But if you want to come down, that's a good week to come during the Art Bow. I didn't go to Art Bow last year. I don't even think I was in town last year. I think I was at the Mexico. We did a residency caravan. I was getting residency last year, but it is a good time to be here. And there are meetups happening all over the US and all over the world. We have Ghana coming up in June. Ghana and maybe Cote d'Ivoire. I'll be in Cote d'Ivoire, so we might as well do a Cote d'Ivoire meetup. Abidjan after Ghana, right after Ghana. Okay. What else? What else do we need to talk about today? Flights are higher. You're seeing it impacted already. Yeah. Flights are higher and the government shut down. And so airports are a terrible experience right now. But if you'd like to risk it, come on down to the Bogota meetup. Oh, Mom says a Delaware meetup in April. Oh, good. Are you going? Let me go to exodussummit.com/meetup. Let me go to Heartbeat and see what it says. I said mom, but I meant my mom. You don't call her mom. You call her Connie Perry, Mrs. Perry, Reverend Perry. Connie, she lets younger people call her Connie. You don't call her mom. That's my mom. My events thing is not loading. You can do it, computer. Okay, events. Hampton Roads, Virginia today. Starting now, Hampton Roads, Virginia. Dallas today. Chicago today. Austin today. All right. Tomorrow, Georgia. Sandy Springs. And tomorrow, Southern California. Carlsbad, California. Saturday, March 28th, Maryland. Savage, Maryland? I don't know where that is. And San Francisco. April 18th, Bogota. April 25th, Delaware. Oh, thanks, Nicole. All right. So, France, May 10th. Thanks, Yolanda. All right. Marseille, France for Mother's Day. Dee and Yolanda. They're both house sitters. Yolanda and Dee are both house sitters, and there's a Mother's Day France meetup. So I'm assuming they're both house sitting in France until they tell me otherwise. I assume they both got house sits in Marseille, which is really impressive. Marseille is a beautiful coastal city in France. So if you're interested, go to exodussummit.com/community. Join the Exodus Summit community, $1. That gets you access to all of those meetups. The meetups usually happen in restaurants, but that doesn't mean you need to or pay for food, right? Get you a water. Go to the meetup, meet the women. Okay. Okay. Near Columbia. Okay. So the place, Savage, Maryland is near Columbia, Maryland, which is outside, is the DMV, right? Columbia is the DC area. I think that's where Katrina used to live. Okay, well, Mom, you can go. She said she saw it posted on Heartbeat. Yeah. Did you RSVP? Let Nicole know you're coming. Connie Perry be going. She will go to your thing. Meeting. Yes. Yes. So the purpose of these meetups is to give you community. So I already talked about a lot of these places that you're moving to are more community and collective minded, not a lot. All the places you're moving to, community and collective minded than you're used to. In the United States, we're told it's a badge of honor to do it all ourselves and to be an army of one and to be the lone wolf. But I'm here to tell you the lone wolf is the most vulnerable wolf. Wolves don't do things alone. That's why we know what a wolf pack is, because they travel in packs. They live in packs. The lone wolf is the vulnerable wolf. The lone wolf who gets sick or injured dies. The lone wolf who can't find the food source or the water source dies. The lone wolf is not a good thing. It's a death sentence. And part of what these meetups are designed to do is to help you meet people who you can travel this journey with, whether it's quite literally. Some of you will literally travel with women you meet in the Exodus Summit meetup, literally, or move abroad with them. But some of you will just be encouraged by her, right? You might never see her again, but you're going to talk to her. Y'all going to leave that meetup with a WhatsApp number or a phone number. Y'all going to text each other or something, right? The purpose of these meetups is to get you community and community with people who are interested in what you're interested in. If you're here, you have a specific interest set. I'm not saying you need to disregard all of your friends who are not interested in moving abroad, right? We don't do that. We don't do that. Right? That's what cults do. Okay. Cults separate you from your friend group and your community and your family. We're adding to. If you can sit and have this conversation and be interested in this conversation, if you come to a meetup, you're going to meet a whole lot of other women who can do the same thing. A whole lot can mean 3 women. It can mean 30 women, right? I think the biggest meetups we've had have been 100. But a meetup is 2 people. You can sit across the table from one other person, share your interests, right? And find somebody who is going to journey with you. Maybe physically, maybe literally journey, and maybe figuratively, maybe through support and encouragement. Okay? So that's what these meetups are designed to do. They're designed to get you community and support. I'm going to say friends. Okay. Some of you will be like, I don't need new friends. Okay. I think that's possible that you may be in a position in your life where you don't need more friends, but every one of you needs more support. There's a difference. I've learned that some people don't think friends are support for them or don't have friends who are supportive of them. Right? Portia, I read one of those meetups is near Columbia, Maryland, which is in the DC area, at least one of them. If you didn't see a meetup in or near you, just make one. Just make one. Every meetup on that list, somebody said, I would like to meet up. I'm just going to make a meetup. If you are a member of the Exodus Summit community and you would like a meetup in your area, you make a meetup in your area. Okay. And then people who are in the Exodus Summit community will go there. Like Connie Perry said, oh, there's a Delaware meetup, right? My mom saw the Delaware meetup because people in those areas scroll through the WhatsApp, scroll through the Heartbeat community, exodussummit.com/community, and they look for local meetups. Arkansas is close to Memphis. I think Arkansas is pretty small, right? So there are women in our community who are close to you, who would love to sit across the table from you or walk around a park with you or whatever, go to an event with you, and like an event like I don't know, maybe a festival. And they just haven't met you yet because you haven't put the meetup yet up on the board. Savannah, Georgia is going to meet up April 18th too. Okay. San Antonio, where y'all at? All right. So you can make one. If you don't see one, you make one. Don't be afraid to put it. Don't be afraid is never helpful advice. I say it all the time. Even if you're afraid to put a meetup out there, go ahead and put it out there. It's worth the effort. Okay. The lone wolf is not a good thing. People say it like it's, oh, I'm a lone wolf. Okay. You've just given yourself a death sentence. The lone wolf is the most vulnerable. We're supposed to be in packs. Get sick and see how a lone wolf navigates life. You know what a lone wolf does when they get sick? They die. You know what a lone wolf does when they can't find the fresh water? They die. The pack survives. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of talk out there is propaganda, right? The whole idea of the lone wolf, the whole idea of the rugged individualist is propaganda. That's not how people operate. It's not even how the people who are saying they did it, right? Even the people who are saying I did it myself, I pulled myself, that's not how they did it. And it's not how you're going to do it. Okay, Tawana's in Memphis, and all I know about Arkansas is once you leave Memphis, you cross over, and now you're in Arkansas. Okay, but I think they're close by, and I think that is the thing. So get a meetup together, okay? So the Arkansas and Memphis girlies can get together. Thank you. It's propaganda. A lot of things that we just repeat and regurgitate, it's propaganda. It's propaganda. It's not true. It's not how things work. It's not how humans operate. Holding up the idea of a lone wolf as some sort of a positive example, propaganda. Propaganda. Okay? I hope that makes you feel better. That idea of I did it myself. Now, for Black women, oftentimes you are doing it yourself and it's killing you. But them other people who are like, I did it myself, I brought, whatever, I'm self-made. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. Their grandfather came home from World War II and was able to buy a home when your grandfather was not. And they got money. Okay. They got family money. He bought a home for $14,000 that today is worth $800,000. And that him and 6 grandkids split that money. Okay. And that's how they have what they have today. You are working 4 jobs to have what you have today. They did not do it themselves. V Goddess, why V Goddess? I should be house sitting by now. I'll set up a meetup in Pittsburgh. Thank you. Pittsburgh, I think, is a city that I'm not aware of how beautiful it is. So it's like one of those slept on cities is what I want to say, with a decent cost of living, and it's beautiful is what I've heard. Yvonne is there is from Pittsburgh. So set up a Pittsburgh meetup so some women from other places can come and see how beautiful Pittsburgh is. That's what I've heard. Yeah, Rashni said she heard a white man say he did it by himself. She shut his video off because clearly he was delusional. You can't trust anything else he has to say. You can't trust anything else he has to say. Every system in the country was designed to support you, sir. What are you talking about? You did it yourself. But Black women, when we say we did it by ourselves and we pat ourselves on the back, what you're saying is, I am so proud of myself for hastening my death, right? For bringing on illnesses and death, doing a thing that was not natural and not normal for me to have to do all on my own. Get you some community, get you a team, do things that way. That's what an Exodus Summit meetup can do for you. Okay? That's what an Exodus Summit can do. Can help you get that. Carmen, am I right that I'm sleeping on how beautiful and maybe even how fun Pittsburgh can be in good weather? So maybe if y'all host a meetup, just like I'm like, come to Bogota, this is a good week. Maybe if y'all host a meetup in Pittsburgh at a time when it's a lovely time to be there. Might help. Okay. I think we should see the beauty in the United States while it still exists. We should see the beautiful places in the US while we can. Because I don't know how much longer they're going to be under one umbrella, right? My basic prediction, which is not a prediction, it's just looking back, right? What I know of what's happening in the United States is looking back to what happened in World War II. And, places got carved up. That US passport is not going to give you access to all of that beauty once it gets carved up, okay? Pittsburgh might be South Canada, okay? Palm Springs might be North Mexico, all right? So Baja California, no, it wouldn't be Baja. Baja California is below, it would just be California. I don't know. So you see the country, see the beauty the country has to offer while you can. Because soon, now I don't know about soon. I don't know when soon is, but there will be a time when it's not going to be so easy to get from one to the other. Okay, so get your meetup on the calendar. A meetup is a location, a time, and a date, and maybe a max capacity. If your meetup is like, I made a reservation for 8 people, now I have space for 7, then you have a max capacity. So a meetup is a time and date, location, and max capacity. You can just pick it. Sometimes I see women go like, hey, I'd like to have a meetup. Where would you like to meet up and when? Girl, don't do that. Just be the boss of the meetup for this one time. Just say, here's where we're going. Here's what time it is. You're going to save yourself the time and stress of going back and forth. Pick a place that you want to go to. It could be a park. It's this park. Here's the entrance we're going to meet at, right? Pick a place you want to go to on a date and time you want to be there. Make that the meetup. Okay. In the future, y'all can get each other's text, phone numbers or WhatsApp numbers, and y'all can start do the dance later of where do we want to meet up and when. Y'all could do that later, another time. But for the first meetup, for your first meetup, just pick one. Pick a place, pick a date, pick a time, put it on the calendar. By put it on the calendar, I mean Francis is our admin in the WhatsApp, in the Heartbeat community. You tell Francis and she puts it on the calendar. I believe, is that right? Yeah, I asked y'all that just last week and you told me yes, okay? Yeah, I think it's time to see some nice places in the United States. Now it's bad timing because airports are, the government shut down and fuel prices are high, right? But I also think like if you want to get there while it's still feasible, you might want to get there now. If there's a place in the continental United States that you've been like, oh, I've been meaning to get there, this spring and summer is probably time. Okay. I believe that. Now, I don't know everything. I just be looking at the past. All I'm doing is looking at the past. I believe I can see the future a little bit, but that's my future. I can't see the country's future. But what I can do is look at the past and say, well, what's likely to happen here? If you have an aggressor that the rest of the world has said, you're on your own, what happens when the war that aggressor starts ends? And that aggressor gets carved up. So there's some places that I would see. I'm so glad. Yosemite National Park, beautiful. I mean, just breathtaking. We talked about this just last week. I know, I'm repeating. But y'all ain't asked me no questions, so I'm just going to talk. There are places I have loved that I've gotten to see. Some of the white sand beaches on Florida, on the west coast of Florida and the Gulf Coast. I haven't been to Florida's Gulf Coast, but that west coast, the clear water, beautiful. haven't been to Hawaii. I couldn't get a house sit. So before the World War started, I had set an alert months and months ago. I'd set an alert for house sits in Hawaii for this time of year, but I don't think it's a good time to go. Hawaii, house sitting, Hawaiians are already like, don't come here. We don't want people coming here. But now they've had a major weather event. And I think that they're just going to be, it's just not the safest place to be. I don't think Hawaii is the safest place to be right now. And they've had a major weather problem and they don't want you there anyway. But if I'd gotten a house sit in Hawaii before World War III started, I would have gone. It would be nice to go to Hawaii while I could. Kings Canyon National Park, that's also near near Zion. I call Zion Red Zion sometimes. I get Zion National Park and Red Rocks confused, even though they're two different places. Zion National Park, Sequoia National Park. So I drove through a Sequoia place, but it wasn't Sequoia National Park. I've never been there to see that grandeur, splendor. I've not seen that. Okay, I think it's a good time. Even though it's not a good time to travel, right? Government shutdown and fuel prices are high. But also, I think it is a good time to go see some places in the US that you have been meaning to see. If you've never been to New Orleans, it's time to go. You should get there. Okay? Is it going to be called Mexizona? Mexizona. Okay, questions. Cool. Oh, are there some volcanoes threatening to erupt in Hawaii? Yeah, they're going through it. Places just get piled on, right? There are places that just like, again, another problem, and Hawaii is in that cycle right now. But I don't know, it may be a pathway to their liberation, right? It might be a pathway to Hawaii's sovereignty. I don't know. Tropical places in Southeast Asia. Hi, Rushai. I love all of Southeast Asia. I love most of Southeast Asia. I would say, if by tropical, I'm assuming you mean beach. Southern Thailand, notoriously beautiful beaches. If you're willing to do a little more, and Cambodia has some beautiful beaches. Cambodia's beaches are also beautiful. If you're willing to take some effort to get there, the island, some of the beaches in the Philippines are just ridiculously amazing. Manila, the city in the Philippines, skip it if you can, or just pass through Manila. But if you can get to some of those beaches in the Philippines, they're amazing. They're always in the world's top list, like the top beaches in the world's lists. Any beach in Southeast, if you don't mean beach when you say tropical, ask me a different way. But any beach in Southeast Asia, it's going to be just amazing. I've not been to, we talked the other week about Sri Lanka even. Sri Lanka's beaches, I've not been to Sri Lanka. But if they have beaches, it's in Southeast Asia, you're going to love it, right? I got no bad words, except that like I was in the Philippines in 2015 into 2016. Internet was slow and coffee was terrible. Okay. The Philippines is not a place, was not a place to set up shop if you're a remote worker or if you need delicious coffee, even though Indonesia is right there, like Indonesia coffee A+, Philippines coffee F+. Right? I didn't understand it. It was so upsetting to me. But the good news is I went to the Philippines before Vietnam. If I had gone to the Philippines after Vietnam and having Vietnamese coffee, I would have been just disgusted. Because Vietnamese coffee, it's not the coffee that makes it good. It's what they put in the coffee that makes it good. Any place. If I didn't answer your question, say it again. Chicago meetups at 1 p.m., Nita said. Did I read that off today? I know I read off some meetups for today. Chicago meetup, 1 p.m. Dallas, Chicago. Yeah, 1 p.m. It's not too late to RSVP. 1 p.m. Chicago time. I don't know what time that is. I think I'm on Chicago time right now. So it's 10:30. Yeah. So Nita's saying right now, confirmed. She's got nobody confirmed yet for the Chicago meetup. So please go into the Heartbeat app and do it now so she knows to leave her house and go. Okay. Okay. You can't see the post in the app. Oh, she said she can't see the post in the app. So DM her in Heartbeat. Okay. DM the host of the meetup in Heartbeat if you confirm, if you're coming. Okay. And then maybe before we leave, I'll be able to refresh and see myself, Nita. How's the weather in Chicago? Right now, nobody confirmed. So I'll try to remind me to refresh it again in about half an hour. Okay. Question, little big sis manifestations. How much money do you think people should have saved before they move? I'm not close to retirement age. I worry about the depreciating dollar. How much money should you have saved up? Depends on your level of like where you feel comfortable. Okay. I'll give you my answer and then I'll give you an answer that other people would probably say. If you have money coming in every month because you have a remote job or you have investment income that you're actually taking out or you have alimony or you have something, right? If you have money coming in regularly and you don't expect there to be a pause in that money, then I think the only money you need saved up to move is the actual like moving money. How much is it going to cost you to fly there? How much is it going to cost you for your first few months? Like if you're in an Airbnb for a couple of months and then you need to put your deposit and your first month's rent or 2 months rent down in an apartment, right? What are your actual moving expenses? I would calculate the actual moving expenses, transportation, accommodation, food, right? I would calculate those things. And that's what you need to move abroad. The rest of it is going to come every month, right? So for me here in Bogota, I paid 3 months rent up front because I didn't have my residency here in Bogota and I didn't have a Bogota bank account. I paid 3 months rent up front, paid for my airfare. That's it, right? I think you need to have that. If you're bopping around and you're just staying in Airbnbs, less than that, because you don't need that 3 months rent up front, that deposit, that whatever. You just need the airfare and the first Airbnb money, right? If you have a US passport and they let you stay 30 days, 90 days in Bogota or Colombia and 90 days in Panama and 90 days, I think Panama might be 180, 180 days in Mexico, right? And you're just going to stay in Airbnbs and maybe do some house sitting or whatever. You need less than that. Now, a lot of people feel really uncomfortable with that. And so you need to know your comfort level. If you need to also have 90 days of total living expenses as a backup, then have that, right? If you also need to have 6 months of living expenses in case, then have that. Okay. But if you know that you have income every month from whatever, a job, from veterans disability money, from whatever, if you know you have that income every month, then you can move abroad just with those moving expenses. You need to calculate your moving expenses. If you don't have income and you're moving and trying to figure out how to make money, that's scary. Okay? That's very scary. Then you need a good chunk of money. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months of money. Okay? Did I answer your question? Thank you. I'm always going to put the compliments on the screen. Thank you very much. Kriya Keys. Yeah, veterans disability money is good money. You can live around the world on probably once you hit 60%. What would my 60? So let's see. Once you hit 60%, we're talking $1,500. Yeah. Once you hit 60% veterans disability money, there's a lot of the world open to you. And that's every month. And it's going to keep going up. I'm at 10%. There was a time when I was getting $75 a month. I think I'm over 140 now. Now, that's not a lot of money, but it goes up. That's good money. That's good money. Those 80% and 100% disability women, the world is yours, right? I have a girlfriend who retired with 100% disability plus retirement. I'm like, girl, you and your family can live anywhere. Even Switzerland is open to you, I believe, right? Anywhere, even Singapore, right? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, the world is open to you. Okay, so I did answer the question. No monthly income, job is not remote. Okay, so then instead, you need to have months of income. You need to know what the cost of living is in the place that you're going. So you may want to get our cost of living calculator. It's not our. We link to a cost of living calculator in the Work From Anywhere toolkit. ExodusSummit.com/toolkit is where you get the Work From Anywhere toolkit. And inside of there, you'll see a few different calculators that help you calculate the cost of living in a place. Okay. So then you need to figure out what is a month going to cost you in that place. And then how many months do you need to get things going? And then what is your long-term plan, right? Is this just, I want to move for a year and then come back? Right? I believe I can get my job back, or I can get a different job when I come back, or I can take a leave of absence or whatever. Or is this, I need to figure out a long-term plan to make money? If you need to figure out a long-term plan to make money, start on that as soon as you can. But I do understand a Black woman saying, I'm going to save up some money. I'm not going to work for a while, and I'm going to go to another country. I love that. Right? How Black women start work so early. I'm not one of them, but most Black women started work so early. I'm a fan of, I'm going to save up some money and I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to stay in this place. I'm going to go to a beautiful beach in Thailand or Cambodia, and I'm just going to live. Then I'll come back and work, or then, but I'm going to take some time and not work. I love that. Do it. Not enough of us do that. That's what changed my life. That's what changed my life. I'm only at 10% disability. It's just for hearing loss. Once you get, like we said, once you get over 60, 80, 100%, a lot of people with 100% disability, I don't know about a lot, but there are people with 100% disability who also get retirement income. It is good money. It is good money for the rest of your life. And spouses, I don't remember what happens with the spouse. I think it's good money. You don't get the money with the U.S. military. You didn't get the money up front, right? It's not in the paycheck. It's in the aftercare. The U.S. in the past, I don't know that it'll always be like that, but in the past, the money wasn't in the paycheck. It was in the disability and retirement income. 20 years means you're set for life, right? I wouldn't recommend anyone join the United States military today. Okay? I don't know if that's clear. I think anybody who joined the military after 2016, when did what's his name become president? You set yourself up for difficulties. Okay? You're set up for difficulties. But back in my day, if you could stand 20 years, my friends who spent 20 years, Set for life, right? Now, knees might not bend and they may need, help sleeping. You pay the price. It's not just like when I talk about alimony and y'all like, no, alimony is not free money. You earned that money. Same with veterans disability money. Yeah, it's on my plan. One of the reasons that I'm trying to remember to talk about it is so that I would try to remember to do it. My plan is to get myself bumped up significantly this year. I feel like workers in the VA are just going to be like, here, have it, right? Have it. We're sick of this too. Take the money. I feel like it's a good time to try to get it bumped up. The link is exodussummit.com/community. Let me drop that again. exodussummit.com/community. Oh, no. Okay. No spouse. Okay. All right. Hi, to be hopeful, I recommend placing your savings in a high yield savings account. I have been saving since my first job at McDonald's. I saved about 5 years and have taken 3 job breaks. Taking a break from work, taking a career break, a sabbatical, a gap year, a gap month, whatever, taking time out of your adult life where you don't work is transformative. It will give you time to know you. The United States of America is set up for you to be a worker and not a human person. And when you take time in your adult life, when you don't work, you become a person. You get to know you. We're sold the story that we're supposed to wait until we're retirement age to start living our lives. That's false. That's a trick of the enemy. Waiting until your retirement age to start living is a scam. Find a way, make a way to not have to work for some portion of your adult life. I don't think that's too much to ask. 1 year out of 60 years is not too much to ask. 2 years, maybe 10 years out of 60, not too much to ask. Where your time is yours, where your energy and your attention and your focus goes to only the things you choose. Life-changing. It will change your perspective on work as well. It will introduce you to who you are, and it will change your idea of what work is and how you want, what role you want work to play in your life. How unimportant is what I want to say. How unimportant work is to you as a person. Jobs are a means to an end, but a lot of Black women don't come to that realization until they're without a job. As long as you have a job, your job is often your identity. Your job is, Rashida and I interviewed Monique Fortenberry, who is the founder of Sister Feds, the community for Black women who are or who were pushed out of federal service, the federal government, or who are still in federal government and are looking for alternatives. Exodus. We just talked to her and we just put that video up on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel. And Rashida talked about when she was laid off the first time, she lost her connection to her friend group because her friends were either work people or people who she met up with after work at happy hour or whatever. She lost her whole community when she lost that job. That's because that's how our jobs are set up. This is a really good interview, a really good conversation. I'm going to link to it here. And when that's the world, the United States is set up for your life to be that, for your life to be work, for you to be a worker. When you take significant time, I'm talking months, a year, years, when you take significant time where work is not the focus of your life, you get to have a whole life and you get to see what You get to see things in from perspective. You get to pull back and be like, oh, work was my life. Work was my identity. I only saw the value in the things that I did, not in who I am. Some of you today can't even understand that concept that you have value. You think the only value is in what you do. You know how when you hear husbands praising their wives on the internet and they'll be like, when I was broke, she bought me a car. And when I was, all they can talk about with their wife is what she does. They can't praise her for who she is. A lot of us are that way about our own selves. We don't know who we are. We don't know why we're deserving, except in the doing. We think our only deserving is in the doing. That's United States of America, okay? That's what capitalism does for you. That's what work-centric living does for you. That's what Black excellence does for you. Instead, when you can take significant time in your adult life where you don't have a job, you can learn your value. You can see who you are. Who are you? What do you want? If you're going to live another 40, 50, 60 years, what do you want? You don't know, because work won't let you. I'm a fan of it, okay? I'm a fan of it. Okay. And then from those breaks comes ideas. Some people are better idea generators than others. But it's real hard to come up with ideas, with solutions to problems that aren't urgent when you have urgent problems in your face. If you have the urgent problem of whatever thing you have to do at work today, or the urgent problem of my country is actively failing and am I safe, right? You have the urgent problem of there's armed militia walking in my city. It's hard to come up with a solution to a less urgent problem, which is, how can I make a living doing things that I love? It seems like a less pressing and a less urgent problem. And sometimes you need to remove yourself from the environment of all that other stuff to find the solution to that. In case you can't tell, I would love every Black woman to be able to take a significant time off of work, preferably out of the United States, especially today. When I started this channel in 2019, I wanted you to leave the United States for one reason. Because life is just better in other places, but now I want you to leave the United States for a better life and like just safety, right, girl? You're not safety. You in danger, girl. Okay, Molly, you in danger, girl. But let's do that. Let's work on a way to do that in our lives. Let's work on a way to leave the country. Maybe for some of you, it'll be easier to afford a sabbatical after you've left the United States and your expenses are better, right? Let's work on that. Chanel, I can't wait to languish on a beach. No place to be and nothing to do. It's a good life. It's a good life. When I started my sabbatical in 2015, I called it a grown-up gap year. I went to 12 countries in 12 months. And in some of those countries, I went to 2, 3, 4 locations, sometimes one, sometimes too many. But still, every day, get up, get my good coffee, get a delicious breakfast somewhere, ride my bike or walk around or get on the scooter. Sometimes I rented a motorbike, right? And just ride and see, in the Philippines in particular, ride till I get to a different beach and a different beach and a different beach, right? Just lay out, eat what they're eating, fill myself up with shrimp, maybe go back and take a nap. Sometimes I stayed in hostels. In the Philippines, I stayed in mostly hostels. And so you want to leave so the lady can come in and clean, but then I'm gonna come back and take a nap. Okay, come back, take a shower, take a nap, read a book, get on the internet, right? See what's happening around the world. Maybe go out, put on my little dress and sandals, go out to dinner. If the people in the hostel are going out to a club, going out to party, going out to a bar, I might go with them. I might not. Take a bunch of pictures. I took a bunch of pictures. I turned them into coloring pages, but I didn't really. It was back in that time, it was hard. Today it's easier with AI, right? It's easier, but nobody really wanted that. Yeah, repeat over and over again. It's a good life. And what happened for me was quiet time for me to just examine things. If a thought popped into my head, I got to examine, why do I think this? Do I want to keep thinking this? How do I stop thinking this way? I told y'all for years and years and years and years and years, when I saw a woman or girl, pregnant, a female, when I saw a pregnant person, I would say to myself, everybody but you. It wasn't until, and that started in I lost my baby in 1997. From 1997 until 2015, that is what I said to myself. That was what my self-talk was, a piece of my self-talk. Everybody gets this but you. And I didn't examine that until I had that year of free time. That's one of the first things that I heard myself saying to myself. And I fixed that. Oh, girl, I fixed that. My brain was talking so crazy to me. In a way, I would never say that to somebody else. I would never see a woman who had lost a child and say, you see this pregnant woman? Everybody gets that but you. I would never do that. But that's how I talk to myself until I got that time away. Significant time where I didn't have a job. I examined a whole lot of stuff and fixed it. Fix it. You can live healed. There is a lot of talk about healing, but you can live healed after. Live healed. I did the healing so that I could live healed. That's what that is a thing that year did for me. A lot of stuff that I just believed for some reason, or at least lived like I believed. I got to think about it and discard what didn't serve me. I don't want to believe this anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to prioritize this anymore. I don't want to squash this anymore. That's what it did for me. I think that's what it does for other Black women. I want you to do it. Some of you won't financially be in a place to take a lot of time off of work while you're still living in the United States. But maybe if you live in a place where all of your month's expenses are basically what you're paying for daycare today, that's going to change your abilities. It's going to change your relationship to work. Okay. Okay. All right. Susan, California events. It says Southern California, Carlsbad, California. If you join exodussummit.com/community, you'll see the event and you can RSVP to it. Carlsbad, California, 12 Pacific time, noon Pacific time. Your brain is saying things to you all day, every day that you didn't choose. that you would never say to another person, let alone to yourself. One thing that I'd worked on during that sabbatical was that I left to see pretty places and take a lot of pictures and maybe to do some combat sport. I wanted to try Muay Thai, but I got too scared. I never did it. I love watching combat sports. Right? I really enjoy I have watched combat sports in almost every country. I've never gone to a combat sporting event here, but like in Mexico, lucha libre, I would call that a combat sport, right? Right. I haven't been to anything here now that I think about it. But I thought maybe I was going to participate, go to some classes, Muay Thai classes, take a bunch of pictures, and do some volunteer work. I did 2 of the 3. Right? I took a buttload of pictures. I did volunteer work, and I did not do combat sports. But what I came away with was so much more than what I left for. I came away with some new friends. I met some people all over the world. Some of them, every now and then I hit them up on whatever. Claire hits me up more than I hit her up. Hi, Claire. Claire is Dutch. Uzo, now I'm not even sure her name was Uzo. Uzo, girl, she just ditched me, right? We were such close friends in Vietnam, and then she was like, whatever, right? Adrian from Chicago, who's been on this channel. I left with friends, which I didn't expect. I didn't anticipate that. I should have started naming names and then there are a lot of people that I still am in communication with. Monique White, I met her. I always forget that. I met Monique for the first time in Bangkok at the Travel Blogger Summit, right? I went to a Travel Blogger Summit. I left with friends. I left with a better relationship with work. And I left with a better relationship with me, when I didn't have one before. Okay? So I think that is worth it for you. I think it's worth it. Hi, Minnie is in. Are you in? Where are you in the world, Minnie? Are you in Belize? When we take time away from the job, from everything we know, we have time to talk kind to ourselves and allow strength and clarity to return to us. Clarity. Absolutely. We're not supposed to be living our lives in fight or flight mode all the time. Fight or flight mode is supposed to come and go, right? It's supposed to come when the threat comes and it's supposed to leave. We're supposed to cycle in and out of fight or flight. We're not supposed to live there. It's killing us. And so get yourself someplace where you don't have to live like that. In Bogota, I don't have to live like that. An alarm went off a few days ago, and I was like, I should Google if there is an earthquake alarm. I should Google if there is one. And Google told me that there was it's on the phone, which means then I needed to figure out, do I need a Bogota phone number, a Colombian phone number to get the thing, or is it just based on location? I think I learned it's based on location. I have a Colombian phone number, but I never keep that SIM card on. I don't keep that SIM card on until I run out of data from my US SIM card. I have Google Fi, whatever, too much information about this, but alerts, alarms. I was like, I haven't felt this alerted to anything in quite a while. I heard an alarm going off. This is Latin America, there's earthquakes around here, even though I don't think Bogota is as earthquakey as like Costa Rica was very earthquakey, San Jose, very earthquakey. And so I was like, I haven't felt this alarmed in quite a while. I was in fight or flight mode. For the first time in months, I've been back here for 2 months. I've been back here for 2 months, right? I haven't felt this alarm in quite a while. I was like, is it an earthquake? Is this even an earthquake alarm? Do they even have an alarm? I never did figure out what it was. It wasn't a car. Like I hear car alarms. It wasn't a car alarm. It sounded like something was happening, like a citywide thing, unless it was just a really obnoxious car alarm. I don't know, right? But then it passed and no earthquake came and I got out of fight or flight mode. Right? Lay back on my sofa. Singing karaoke. I've been karaoke in the house down. These acoustics, I can't resist it. I've been in this house singing since I got here. Okay. Okay. All right. Peace. Dropping Knowledge Bomb says, I hope you know and get peace. When we get rid of things that hold us back and get out of survival mode, life and opportunities open up in a way you never thought possible. Okay, so if you don't believe me, believe her. Okay? Peace. Okay. All right, I think we did everything. Let me refresh the Chicago meetup and see if any of you RSVP'd in the meantime. If not, if you're watching this later, but you are going to the Chicago meetup, you need to DM the host on the platform and let her know. I'm refreshing. Everything is taking forever. I'm refreshing. I have decent internet here, but not good internet. Not good internet in my building. Internet is building specific here in Bogota. No one's confirmed yet, Nita. Jazzy, is there a benefit to having a burner phone at home with a local number just to get alarms? There's benefit to having a burner phone because people will steal your phone. I mean, nowadays phones have dual SIM capabilities. As long as your phone lets you have two SIM cards, I don't think you need a burner phone for that. When I switch, listen, let me show you how much time and effort it takes for me to switch from one to the other. Let's count. That's how much time it takes. Okay. I don't do it, but that's all the time it takes for me to switch from one to the other. It's not a big deal. With a dual SIM phone, not a problem. It is, however, your phone being stolen is the most likely crime. I'll say, I'm gonna make this up. I believe this to be true. The most likely crime you're most likely to be a victim of around the world is people stealing your phone. And so it's nice to have a cheap phone, a burner phone or your old phone. So before this one, I had the iPhone 7. I still have it. I just accidentally left it in Delaware. I meant to bring it with me. I left it in Delaware. At first I was going to sell it. And I went to some website and they sent me the box and they're like, we'll give you this much money. And then I was like, that's not smart. I should just keep the phone and take it with me. Have you ever seen that lady there's a like a YouTube short or a clip or whatever of the lady riding a bus? It looks to me like she's in Mexico, but I don't know where she is. She's riding the bus and she sees the robbers coming onto the bus. She gets rid of her phone and pulls out her little cheap phone, right? She gets rid of her good phone. She pulls out her cheap phone and they steal the cheap phone, right? It makes sense around the world to have a backup. So I would say it makes more sense to have a phone with dual SIM and a backup cheap phone that is just there in case you lose it, in case it gets stolen, in case whatever. That's my advice. Shatina, if you want to go to the meetup today, go to exodussummit.com/community and sign up for the Exodus Summit community. There is a $1 fee to join, and then go over to events and RSVP for the Chicago event. It's happening soon, a couple hours, and DM the host. Yeah, she was prepared. I'm not that prepared, right? If they bust up on the thing and they're trying to steal my phone, I'm in trouble, right? They got my phone. Right now. I meant to, but I did mean to bring it. It's in the drawer in my parents' house. So next time I go, I'll be back in Delaware in the summer. So next time I go, that's one on my list. Get that little phone. I could just buy a cheap phone here, but I didn't. I haven't. Yeah. Your phone, the phone being stolen, I think is the most likely crime that you'll be a victim of. So be prepared for that. That's the thing I would prepare for. What is your plan if your phone gets stolen? Right? I would have to get back home and get to my computer and shut off my digital credit cards. And that's about it. Right? I think that's my plan. What am I not thinking about? That's my plan. Because you know, the cards, my cards have physical and digital. And that's about it. And then decide, am I buying a good phone or like expense? I don't mean a good phone or a cheap phone. I mean an expensive phone or an inexpensive phone. My phone, I drowned my phone when I was in the Philippines. I was on the most amazing day tour in El Nido. If you Google El Nido right now, I did all of that, all of that. Everything you see on that, in those beautiful pictures, I did a day tour where we did all of that in a day. We went to these limestone, we're in the ocean, but there's these limestone like mountains coming out of the ocean, and we kayaked in between them, and it was so quiet and serene and beautiful. And there was a girl, we were both staying in the same hostel. She was Korean, but she was using the English name Esther. And she was like really shy about having a bathing suit on. She was very young. She was like maybe 19 or 20. You know how young girls are. And I was like, Esther, we're going to take these pictures. So I used my phone. I took some really good pictures of her in the limestone things. And it was just beautiful. Don't you know, as soon as we're at the last stop on the tour, I have my phone in my hand in the plastic, in the protective thing. And it had, what was it called? What was that case? That case used to be called the whatever case. And I'm walking back to the boat. And if this is the water, right, I dropped my phone just like that. Like just barely got this part of the phone into the water. Lost everything because I hadn't been uploading to the cloud for some reason. I don't remember why. The most beautiful day in my life is still one of the most beautiful days I've ever had. Lost every photo. So that's that. One day I'll have to go back and do it again. What were we saying? Oh, so I replaced my iPhone in the Philippines in Puerto Princesa. I was up in El Nido. Is that El Nido? Yeah, El Nido. And I had to take a bus down to Puerto Princesa to buy a phone at the mall and then take the bus back up to El Nido. But that's life, right? So you need a plan for what you're going to do if your phone dies or is stolen. And that was my plan. Buy another one or bring my old broken phone, semi-broken. It works, but it doesn't work. Okay, how did we do? Is there anything else that we need to cover before we close out? Chicago, event details. Okay, still no one confirmed, Nita, so I don't know if you're going to want to go or not. You decide, but there's still nobody confirmed for the meetup in Chicago. All right. Okay, friends. Oh, well, thank you. Make sure that you hit the like button, please. And because you're here, you liked it. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't still be here. Hit the like button and then hit the share button and share this video with a Black woman you know who would have been interested in this conversation about moving abroad, about planning your exodus, and about taking time off from work for yourself. Okay? If you missed everything, lady, it's okay. Watch the replay. Start from the beginning. It was good. I think this was a good one. I feel good about it. Okay. And then Chicago, Nita says message her in the Heartbeat app. She's Nita A. Okay. If you're coming, so, because she can't see if anybody RSVP, but she can see if you message her. The event is not showing up in the app. Yeah, I see it. Chicago, go to events in the sidebar. Go to events. And then you'll see, oh, is it because it's past? You may need to look at past events if it's saying, yeah. What's today's date? March 21st? Do you need to go to past events because it looks like the time has passed? No, it's still there. It's still under upcoming. Under upcoming. And you'll see Nita, you'll see her picture. You'll need to RSVP and you'll need to message her. Click on her picture and send her a message and let her know you're coming. Okay? All right. Chicago, y'all know, so y'all already know what Chicago. I love me some Black women from Chicago. So, but if you live there, you may take for granted how amazing y'all are. But I would go to that meetup if I were around. If I were in town and could swing by for a few minutes, I would go to that meetup. And then remember, at every meetup, your responsibility is to meet somebody that you're going to stay in touch with, get her contact information, and decide that you're going to stay in touch, whether it's everyone or just one somebody. Okay? All right. Oh, and link for trusted house sitters. My toolkit for new house sitters is here. House sitter. My toolkit for new house sitters. There's the link. And then my actual affiliate link to join trusted house sitters is here. Okay, so we mentioned a couple of the women in France. I assume that they're both house sitting because one lives in Spain and one lives in the US, but they're having a meetup in France. I assume they're house sitting. So the Trusted House Sitters link is in the description as well. And have a great day. All right, friends, thank you for joining in. Have a great day. Say goodbye to me in the chat. You say hi. You can say goodbye also. All right, say goodbye to me in the chat and have a great day. I decided to wear a pin. I don't usually wear black or gray. I don't like the way I look in black or gray. Okay, and so I was like, let me put a little pin on. This is why we were 2 minutes late. 2 minutes late. This is a crab. I'm Cancer, the crab. This is my little crab pin. Rashida bought it for me here in Bogota last year. Okay. All right. Thanks for saying goodbye. Thanks for that. Okay. I'll see you guys again. Thanks for hanging out with us this weekend or today. Have a wonderful day. All the links that I've mentioned are in the description of the video. Okay. All the links are there. So if you need to find something that we've talked about today, just go to the video's description. You'll see it all there. Okay. Thanks, friends. Take good care. Bye.